Let's start talking about storing our Terraform state in a remote location, such as a cloud provider, Azure, S3, something like that. Up until this point, everything we've done has been locally, and including our state, and all operations are performed just on the machine where we're running it. That can work if it's just maybe you or one other person working on this, but as you grow into a team, you're going to want to have a shared location for a lot of this information. And that's what we'll look at here. So what do backends do? There's two main focuses. One, it's where the state is stored. Second, where operations are performed. The concept of state is something we focused on in another video, but it's essentially how Terraform understands the current status of the infrastructure that you're trying to build. By default, it's local, but again, in this video, we'll look at hosting this in a shared cloud environment. Operations refer to the API requests against the infrastructure, so the actual creation and updating, destroying, etc. of the resources. Normally that will be locally, again, on your machine, but if you have Terraform Cloud or Terraform Enterprises, you can configure this to be remote as well, so it would go from the remote location. For our sake, it's still going to be local for operations, but state will be stored remotely. There's two types, enhanced and standard. Enhanced being that backends are handling both the state and operations, where standard is backends only store state, and that will be our focus for this particular example. If we look over here, we can see for the standard backends, you have several different options, including Azure and S3, Kubernetes. The example we will use in this video will be Azure, and we'll be using a storage account to put it in a container. Over here on the right, we can see our current Terraform project. It's very simple. We're just creating some objects on Snowflake, a database schema, role, user, etc. Really nothing crazy, just an example. And now what we will do is, instead of holding this state locally, we're going to configure a backend file to hold it in Azure. First thing I'll do here is create a new file, call it backend.tf. Over here, we can see the configuration and documentation for using Azure for this. There's a couple different options. So obviously this would be slightly different for the different providers. The general theme here is you're going to specify the name of the backend, give a resource group, storage account, container name, and then from there, it's some sort of authentication depending on which route you want to go. In our case, we'll do an SAS token. So I will start with this placeholder here, copy this and paste it in here. So what we'll need to do is have a storage account, container. And if we look down here, we can see the key is the name of the blob used to retrieve, store this state file. This will be the name of the actual file itself. So here it's defaulted to prod.terraform.tf state because it's going to be a TF state file. And we'll just leave this as is. I'll just leave that as the default. You could change that depending on your environment. We'll need to create a container name and use a storage account. Okay, so let's get started with this. I'm going to hop over to my Azure portal here, click on storage accounts, and I'll create a new one for this example. Select the resource group. I'll give it a name. I'll call this MK Data Terraform. Okay, has to be unique, so that seems to pass. Standard, review and create. I'm not going to add too much here, and just create. Just keep it simple for the example. And we'll let this build. If you have one that exists already, feel free to use that as well. So here we can see this finished creating. Let's hop into this. And what I'll do here is put this name now into the storage account name. Container name, let's go to containers and create a new container. I'll call this TF state, keep it private and create. So now TF state is the name of the container. Let's put that as this attribute here. And the key, like I said, is going to be the name of the file. And what's going to happen is if this doesn't exist the first time we initialize this, it's going to create it for us. So we'll just leave that as is. So we're doing the SAS token, and I'm going to create this token on the storage account level. And let's go to shared access token and create a new one. We'll put this on container and object. That's it. So let's generate this. And here we can get our SAS token, copy and put this as this value right here. Save. So at this point, we've configured this backend within Terraform in a new file. So now when we try to plan or apply or anything, it's going to store that information in this remote container for us rather than just on our local disk. So if we go back into this container, there are currently no files. And what we'll see here is if we try to do Terraform plan, it recognizes that we've just changed that backend configuration to Azure, and the changes require reinitialization. So let's do that. Terraform init. Do you want to copy existing state? Meaning, do we want to create a new file called this as the key in our remote location? And we're going to say yes. Let's refresh, and here we can see it right here. We go in here, edit. We can see our state file has been copied to Azure. Let's do a Terraform plan, see what happens. So this means that we were able to read the file from Azure, and Terraform is working as we would expect. Now let's try to make a change. Let's add something. Let's say we'll add a new resource. We'll create test role and call this test. Add it to give us something new. Now let's do a Terraform plan. This should actually update. So 90609, 90648. This recognized a change locally here. So that's another good sign that this is connected correctly. But if we go in here and try to edit and look for test role, that's not here yet. So basically it's just the metadata has changed. It recognizes that there was a change made, but it's not putting that new resource yet. Okay, now let's do a Terraform apply. Now what's interesting now is if I click on this and refresh, it's saying this blob has an active lease and cannot be deleted or edited. And that's because what Terraform is doing here is acquiring a lock on this file. So we can't go in here and edit it and do anything, because obviously that would throw off what's happening here. So that's a nice feature too. It's preventing you from doing that. So if you have a team of multiple people trying to run this at once, or multiple programs trying to do this, there's only one that can have the lock on that file at any given time. Now let's say yes, let this run. It just ran the one difference, which was that test role. And now if we refresh, we can get back in here. And if we look for test role, there it is. So that means that this updated this state, and all of this is working on this backend configuration. So the next thing we'll look at here is storing this as an environment variable rather than as just inline text. Because if you have this in source control or just moving this file around in general, you don't want to have this exposed. And what you can do is set this as an environment variable. And here, if we look in our Azure settings, we can find the SAS token right here, and here's the environment variable that we would use. In my case, I'm using Windows and PowerShell, so I'll use the equivalent syntax to set that variable, but if you're using Bash or something else, obviously you would use that instead. So the syntax for me will be $env, and then the name of the variable, which in our case is ARM SAS token, and I'll copy this value here. So equals, single quotation, close it out. And now to display this back, let's confirm that it's there and we can see it. So now we don't even need this here. We should be safe to delete this. And here's another note up here that says the token can be sourced from an environment variable, which is what we just did. Let's delete this. Now let's do another Terraform plan. And again, because we moved this to an environment variable, we need to reinitialize. It needs to just reconfigure itself. So we'll do a Terraform init. All green, good to go. Terraform plan. And we're all good. So now let's delete something and test out that this works again. We'll go over here, refresh this. So last modified 913, Terraform plan, 1 to destroy, 913.16, refresh, 913.43. So that means this is all working correctly with this environment variable. Terraform apply. We should expect the state to be locked here, and it is. Yes. Refresh, no more lock. Test role should be gone, and it is. So obviously Terraform state is a critical component to Terraform, and storing it remotely on something like Azure will really benefit your team and keep everybody in line to make sure that they're looking at the same information, they're not overriding each other, and your project can run as smoothly as possible.